Good morning, guys. It is Jonathan with One Big Impact. So today we are going to be doing an unboxing, and then at a later point we will be doing a review of a little tiny welder that we got on Amazon. And I'm actually really excited. I'm a gym owner and I want to build some just simple little stuff that we could use around the gym. Maybe I don't want to invest $5,000 in a piece of equipment, but I can make it for 500 bucks or something, or 1,000 bucks. So, bear with me. Let's get started. All right, so first of all, this item was on sale for 129 bucks. By the way, soon, I think I'm gonna get a little Rode mic that puts it on my shoulder so you guys can hear me even better. I did get a couple of items with this item, and the reason I got those things is so I can kind of right out of the box be playing with it. We got some welding rods, we got some welding gloves, just got a regular hoodie, 100% cotton, and a welding helmet, auto darkening, and everything but the hoodie we got on Amazon. So the first thing that we're going to open and check out is going to be the DEKOPRO Superpower Welder, stick welder. So I have, one of these days I'll figure out how to get these. And this, believe it or not, it's a hell of a lot smaller. I knew it was small, but I do think this is going to be a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. So that's kind of interesting. It's interesting because one time I did have a welder, and it was a Chicago Electric, and it was a wire feed, which I have never once used a welder, a stick welder. So this is kind of all new to me, all new, 100% new. So a little box, and it comes with a little wire brush that looks like it might hurt you like hell, and a little tack hammer to brush stuff off, which is kind of cool. And this be the animal here. It does run off of 110 and 240 or 220, which I found that kind of strange because it's so small. But I do not have anything over. Oh, look, the adapter, that's cool. The adapter goes right into being able to be off of regular breaker, 110 outlet, which is kind of cool because you don't get a ton of information when you're online. It's like, I don't know. It says right here on the side, it has I'll be honest, I'm not a welder. It's an inverted welding machine. I don't know what the fuck that means. In all honesty, on the side, from the research I did, there was a guy that had a really good review on this item. By the way, I will put links in the description to all the items that I'm talking about. It helps me immensely if you go purchase them through my links. But also, if you just take a second and subscribe, hit notifications, hit like, and comment if you like my video. I'm just an average guy that has a bunch of tiny little things that need to be welded, and they're pretty simple things, but plus I want to eventually branch out and teach myself to weld this year, and weld well. So I figured, from what I've researched, stick welding is the hardest. I want to start with the hardest one and then just work down. The research on this that I put in, that I was reading the guy's review, he was also like me, just kind of like a handyman, do-it-yourself guy. And he said as long as you got a 20 amp breaker on the designated outlet that you're going to be using, you should be okay. If it pops the breaker, what I'm going to do is buy there's like a $400 generator, and I'll probably just go in to buy that. And the reason being is just because eventually I'm going to get a camper, and for camping and stuff like that, and I'm gonna need a generator anyway. And eventually I'm also going to get a bigger welder and be able to focus on using that to be able to be more self-sufficient. I can weld anywhere if I want to do a side job or anything like that. I am a trainer and stuff, but I also do travel, and it would be cool to be able to use a welder to make money in different ways at different places. So that's enough of that. It does come with an instruction manual. It's funny because a lot of people were saying it didn't. So it does, and it is in English, it looks like, so that's cool. Yep. The one complaint I heard a lot of people say is the little dial, the digital readout goes bad or whatever, which, whatever, I don't care. It's not a big deal, as long as you figure out how to use it. You got 2 of these leads here. Cool thing is, they're actually really long. The grounding wire, or the grounding on my other one, on my Chicago Electric, was like 2 feet long. It was really annoying, to be honest. And I'm sure you could buy more. The ground is, well, let me hang it to something and I'll give you a better idea. Let me hang it here. I would say 10 feet, roughly, 12 feet. So that's a pretty good length. And then the other animal here, the rod holder, and yes, I'm using my terms for these, okay? It's about the same. It looks like 10 to 12 feet. Let me actually measure that for you, just to make sure that's an exact measurement. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I think that could be touching for some people, which I don't have a tape measure. I must have taken my tape measure home. So, but I would assume it probably says in the description, I will use this guy. This guy is 60 inches. So we're going to bring it here. It's 10 feet, so I hope that helps for somebody out there that needs that. This guy, the rod holder, actually looks like pretty high quality. The grounding, for the ground, it's medium quality. Rod holder, better quality, which is good. Like, I'm probably, I guess, most concerned with what the hell I'm going to be holding. Obviously the ground is important too. The connection here does look like pretty damn good connection. You've got this regular outlet here, and let me show you a zoom in real quick of these. This is the outlet, and this is the adapter, which is cool because it just goes in here and turns it into a 110. So I think that's pretty important, to be honest. You know, the one thing I do like about this is a lot of people were saying on the reviews that, oh my gosh, why do I have this 1,000-pound buzz box? You know, those old Lincoln welders and stuff like that. They were literally going to throw them away because it did the same thing and they weren't worried about it. So I thought that was pretty cool. I will do, like, first impression of it, it doesn't look like a piece of crap. It looks like it has what's needed, and that's it. Like, let's be honest, whatever the internals are of this, it's probably a hell of a lot more refined over time. The welding rods look perfectly fine. The ones that everybody was recommending was 3/32, and I'll put a link in the description. It's a pound of those. I will give you some feedback over time on this item. Eventually, like right away, I'm probably going to start welding pretty thin stuff, maybe up to a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to see if these work for that, but it'll probably be significantly thinner. I think my first project's going to be a calf rest machine, and I have something I got to weld in my truck, and a couple different tiny little things. The welding gloves that I got, I guess are the name Rapika, says size 16, but I think it's just one size. They do have a little lever here. I have pretty big hands, and they fit very, very well, to be honest. Just like any welding glove, they're hard to curl your hands. But I do remember very, very, very specifically on my old gloves that I got from Harbor Freight, and I could not even curl my hands at all. They were horrible gloves. And I think that plays a huge part in like flexibility and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. Those were, I think, 16 bucks, which is kind of cool. And then I guess one of my favorite things is going to be this auto darkening helmet. It was 36 bucks. And you guys, Harbor Freight's cheap, but it is not always as cheap as Amazon. The auto darkening helmets, I think, started at like 80 bucks at Harbor Freight. And they started at like 30 bucks on Amazon. And cool enough, it has a really cool pattern on it. And they had like American flag ones and different things. They have a bunch of different things. I kind of thought this design was pretty dope. And it actually looks pretty cool. It's the brand called Yes Welder. It's got these lightning bolts on it and stuff on the side, which I thought was pretty sweet, to be honest. Just kind of like a little, and I'll tell you if it fits right now and how it fits, because, oh yeah, that's comfortable. That's nice, actually. How good can you really look in a welding helmet? But let me see. That's got a nice thick pad on the back. And then it's right here. It's got some controls inside here. It looks like sensitivity, delay, and stuff. Tighten it up back there. Tighten it up here. Looks like it's kind of loose on this side. Okay, that makes sense. And then comes back. Hey, look at that. I feel like a welder. I'm definitely not a welder, but you know what? Let's say this. I am an aspiring welder, and I will be a welder in a year. Okay. So pretty cool helmet for the price, you know. Here's the thing. I'm probably going to get some people that are like, you're not a welder, you don't know what you're doing, that thing's a piece of crap. Guys, it's 2023, okay? Let's be honest. I'm pretty handy with a lot of stuff, okay? I had welded like some small projects. They were pretty bad as far as quality was concerned and stuff like that. Back in the day, I did successfully weld something for my kids, the basketball hoop. I welded that back on, and it worked. It's probably the ugliest welds in the world, but I am hopeful, and I think it's awesome if you are out there trying to learn. Let's be honest, this next generation, not everybody's willing to do the work themselves. They just want to pay somebody and say forget it and stuff like that. So if anybody is out there and you're trying to focus on learning a skill, whether it's framing or carpentry or welding or anything like that, dude, don't be mean to people. Like, inspire them and build them up to be able to focus on being a better version of themselves. Don't drag people down. I saw some kid the other day speaking a different language. I think he was an Asian kid, and he was trying to speak German to this guy, and everybody was like laughing at him, and the guy stopped, and he's like, stop laughing at this kid. Like, you're gonna ruin him. Like, his language is beautiful. He's trying. He's making a solid effort. So whether it's me or somebody else, or anybody out there trying to learn a craft, build people up. Don't tear them down. Be really careful about the things that you say on the internet, because we're real people, and it's not because I'm worried about what you're saying. A lot of the times that stuff drives me as a person, but don't discourage others, and maybe it's a cheap welder, maybe it's a cheap helmet, maybe it's cheap rods, cheap gloves, and an old hoodie or something like that. But hey, how do you think our grandfathers started out? You know what I mean? Like, they sure in the hell probably didn't even have their own equipment. You know, imagine how much a welding helmet cost back then. It could have been a week's pay or something like that. So maybe they welded with goggles, you know, and stuff like that. So if you're out there learning, I wish you the best of luck. Post a video in your comments below. Honestly, I would say as far as the unboxing is concerned, everything looks good, to be honest. This is kind of like my little starter kit to be able to get started. I may need a few other things. I might get a welding shirt. I don't know. I'm using an old hoodie for right now. You do want to use something that's 100% cotton. They do have flame resistant shirts, and I'll put those in the description below. I am in no way, shape, or form a professional welder yet. And I have put it on my list to become a pretty decent welder by the end of the year. And I feel like with practice, I can definitely do that. I hope you guys liked the video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If I sound like I'm yelling, it's because my phone is 20 feet away from me, 10 feet away, it's about 8 feet away from me, and I'm just trying to make sure you guys can hear me. With the auto darkening thing, you got some different colored lenses as replacements, and it does come with a manual. So I hope that information helped you. In a couple days or so, I'll post a video of some like beginner welds and how I think it works and stuff like that. I may or may not go try it right now and see kind of how it works. Thanks guys, bye.